Hi, welcome back to the Scent Advocate. Tonight we're continuing on with our Moods fragrance series. Yes, fragrances from my collection that put us into a specific mood, put me into a specific mood, and tonight's mood is meditative. That's right, these fragrances put me into a mood that is extremely relaxed and makes my mind go to a peaceful place. I don't practice yoga. I wish I did. I wish I knew how. I don't know. I just can't get comfortable getting into some of those positions with someone directly behind me. I try to talk my husband into couples yoga and he is just not down for it. So I never give up. The point is, these fragrances help take me to a meditative place that I might otherwise get to with yoga. But since I don't have yoga in my life, I have fragrance instead, and that takes me there. So, with that said, what is your beverage for the evening? Mine is herb tea. This is lavender chamomile in my favorite Crimson Tide mug, which I absolutely love Alabama football, as you may already know. So grab your cup of whatever, take a good sip, and let's jump right in. So the first fragrance we'll talk about this evening, which one do I want to start with? Sure. Navitus, the Embrace. This one took me by surprise about 2 years ago. I really didn't have much experience with this house other than having read about it, and everything sounded wonderful. But this one in particular, I just grabbed on a whim. I liked the bottle, and I was in a large department store in my favorite perfume shopping destination, Las Vegas. And I saw this and I just had to, I don't know, I was drawn to it. Maybe it was fate. So this fragrance is an extrait de parfum. It just says Parfum, though I believe they are the same concentration. This is 100 ml. It goes for about $195. Is that right? Because that seems like a really good deal. And it's a 2020 release. The notes in this are sesame, citrus, honey, coffee, vanilla, vetiver, and cedar. But I get a dark cocoa in this, and it is so calming and almost smoky in its vetiver note that I just it's like a warm hug in a bottle. Comforting smells of a family kitchen after someone baked maybe chocolate chip cookies and there's a fire in the hearth and you're cozy and just taking it all in. You hear a faint sound. Maybe it's the oven, you know, that convection bake fan thing still going on after the cookies came out. And it just, that humming just puts you into a complete meditative state of bliss. And that is Navitus, the Embrace. Have you tried this one? Isn't it spectacular? Okay, moving on. We've got, what is next? Oh yeah, let's do, yes, where is this? A little bit of a cheat, but not exactly. This is a Traveler because I wasn't sure. I'd heard so many wonderful things about the Blazing Mr. Sam by Penhaligons. I am a huge Penhaligons fan. I would buy far too many if I weren't. I'm not. as disciplined with fragrance as I should be. However, I'm disciplined enough to have been somewhat controlled when dealing with Penhaligons. I heard cardamom and I was over the moon. I'm a huge cardamom fan. When I heard about this being, big on the cardamom, I had to try it. I didn't want to go full bottle unless I was absolutely sure. So I didn't want to do a blind buy. Not that I've ever had bad luck with Penhaligons, but I'm trying here. So for a 75 ml of this, it would be $350, which I think is pretty pricey. It's an EDP and it's a 2018 release. The notes in here are black pepper, cedar, cardamom, of course, cinnamon, cumin, saffron, tobacco, vanilla, cedar, and patchouli. And I absolutely love it. I will get a full bottle of this. There is no question. So this is a very cool, kind of gorgeous person, right? Wearing this. And just as soon as you realize this person is incredible looking, like maybe across a room, right? You see this gorgeous, and this is, we're all single in this kind of fantasy, right? This is many, many years ago. And you see this gorgeous person and, just absolutely perfect to look at. And the person comes a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and lo and behold, they smell amazing too. Can you imagine? And you are entranced. You're staring. You can't stop. You're just staring at the person, mesmerized, meditatively staring at the person and praying that the person doesn't speak and spoil it. That is the Blazing Mr. Sam. What do you think? Gorgeous stuff. The cardamom is definitely there, but not as much as I've smelled it in other fragrances. If you're worried about the cumin, don't be. It is so subtle, it's almost non-existent. The black pepper too. I'm really not getting a ton of black pepper in this. This is a beautiful cedar, cardamom, wet tobacco, a little vanilla, a little patchouli, to kind of give it that backbone and longevity that you get from a really good, long-lasting fragrance. And I love it. I think it is a warm, spicy, gorgeous star that puts you into a trance. Beautiful stuff. The Blazing Mr. Sam by Penhaligons. All right. Next we have the need to take a sip of tea. This stuff is really good, by the way. It's I can feel all of the phytonutrients steeping out of the flowers in there and into my body. Okay, I'm getting healthier by the moment. The next fragrance is Concreted's Sesame Shower. Oh, do I love this one. This is a 2025 release. It goes for $90. It's a 30 ml and it is an EDP. So the notes in this are black sesame, juniper, olibanum, violet, lily of the valley, rose, cedar, vetiver, vanilla, amber, musk, and sandalwood. This fragrance, gosh, I love it. Love it. This is like a soft, gentle, kind of spongy, not too sweet dessert. But it's a small dessert. So imagine I'm having this tea because maybe I had a bad dream or something, right? It's the middle of the night and I make myself a cup of tea and I just want a little something to go with it. I never do this, to be honest with you. When I eat after like 8 o'clock at night, it makes me sick. But in my fantasy, I can do this. Maybe it's like a little piece of biscotti, something like that. Okay, biscotti's crunchy, but before it was crunchy, it was spongy, huh? Those things are twice baked. And it's got this sesame warmth to it, like a nutty quality. If you've ever had tahini, which is like a sesame version of peanut butter, it's like peanut butter made with sesame instead of peanuts. That's kind of what you get from this, only not as, there can be a tiny bit of bitterness to tahini, just a smidge. That's not here. This is completely soft, not too sweet, like I said, very warming. Think of it like one of those digestives. My family used to eat these digestive cookies. I don't know if they help you digest anything. I don't know why they call them that. I think sometimes they give them to babies. Anyway, that's kind of the feeling I get from this. Something you'd have with a cup of tea late at night, comforting. And so you're eating this, and you find that as you're eating this bit of cookie with your tea, you're just kind of zoning out. You're like thinking of the day ahead, or the fact that there is, hey, maybe it's Friday or Saturday and you don't have work the next day, or whatever day you don't have work the next day, and you are just kind of thinking about that, and all of a sudden you feel that meditative kind of slowness that you get before you drift back to sleep, and hopefully not spill the tea all over yourself. That's where this takes me. It is absolutely stunning. And by the way, this is like, I think this is plastic, but it looks like a piece of concrete, which is cute, right? Because the house is concreted. And this is Sesame Shower. There we go. All right, moving on. We have, let's do this one. Remember Me by Jovoy. Speaking of a spot of tea, here it is. They have since, I believe, come out with a new bottle. And it's similar in shape, but a little, something about it in the pictures I've seen looks a little bit more detailed than this one. This one is great. It's very beautiful, very simple, which I love. The top is, like a silver painted metal. And I love a nice heavy bottle. This is a 100 ml EDP. It's a 2018 release. Now, I don't see this size right now out there. What I'm seeing is a 75 ml for $210. So let me just talk about that. Okay, if they don't sell the 100 ml anymore, I'm not sure, but I am just seeing the 75 right now. All right, so the notes in this are cardamom, lemon, bergamot, tea, ginger, frangipani, milk, vanilla, woods, and cedar. This is a heavenly wearable tea fragrance, but it's warmed up with some beautiful spices beyond ginger, right? So that ginger is not too zingy. Neither is the lemon or the bergamot. They are really coming across to me as muted and spicy, like maybe a mace or something. It's not as strong as a clove. Maybe a little bit of allspice. A hint of maybe just a smidge of anise in there. But it's a very warming, very comforting, spiced tea, but not as spiced as a chai latte. It's somewhere in between. And the citruses are beautifully balanced with the sweetness of the vanilla and the cardamom. The milk, I think, softens things up too. So this is, the kind of thing you'd, if this is a tea, it's the kind of thing you'd drink on a rainy day. You're curled up with a faux fur blanket and your cup of tea, and you're reading a really great book, and it's raining outside, and you can hear the rain, and the rain kind of catches your attention, and you pull away from the book a little bit, and you just start listening to the rain and the smell of the tea and the coziness of the blanket, and it puts you into this meditative state, just thinking about the sound of the rain and nothing else. And then you fall asleep and you dream about your lovely book. That's what I get from this. And if you're getting distracted right now from that damn lamp in the background that's flickering, I'm really sorry. I just noticed that. That's awful. Okay. But this is Remember Me by Jovoy. Pay no attention to the lamp behind me. There we go. All right. Speaking of tea, we have tea and smoke with Fumabat. Oh, this one's special, right? This is Couteau de Poche. This is a 2017 release. It's a 50 ml EDP, and it goes for about $180. The notes in this are green tea, galbanum, mint, pine, carnation. You gotta love that one. Frankincense, oak moss, vetiver, leather, and patchouli. Whoa, this is a smoky, musky experience. It is sophisticated and complex, and I'm thinking about people meditating, but they're really successful, sexy meditating people, right? They read a lot on purpose. I'm not just talking about continuing education stuff, right? They're reading really good books, whatever's hot at the moment, or some kind of philosophical thing like gendered epistemology, something cool. And this is what they're wearing. Absolutely. Very pronounced oak moss on this. Gives it that kind of cool, a cool vibe that feels timeless. That's what I get from oak moss. And the smoke is the mystery, the intelligence, the sophistication. The tea is there, but it's one of those toasted teas from the Far East, Very shishi stuff. And that's Fumabat by Couteau de Poche. Have you tried it? Moving on, we've got Akhetaten from Parfum's Prissana. Not to be confused with Akhetaten. Okay, so Akhetaten was a city. Akhetaten was a pharaoh. About 1350 BC or something like that. The notes in this are on the bottle, like all Prin Lamrose fragrances, I believe. So here we've got suede, myrrh, amber, jasmine, rose, pink lotus, incense, saffron, and fenugreek. Of course, the meditative quality comes from that beautiful incense. Like with Fumabat and the smoke, you've got a dark floral incense going on here. The flowers give it almost a tropical feel though, and there's the slightest hint of a musk. I know it's not among the notes listed, but I do get a musk in here. Very, very faint. Maybe it's the musk associated with the undergrowth of a tropical rainforest, like a tropical paradise, and there's smoke all around you. Picture the singing of the song Bali High in the 1950s Rodgers and Hammersteins South Pacific. She's belting out this song, and everyone's enchanted at the description of the paradise she's singing about. And there's smoke all around, smoke from an extinguished tropical paradise fire, you know, the kind where they just burn gardenias and coconuts, and it smells amazing. That's what I get out of this. It's not a church incense. It's that extinguished fire in a tropical paradise type incense. And it's warm and comforting and yet intriguing and mysterious at the same time. It's Akhetaten by Parfum's Prissana. There we go. All right, friends. Last but not least, we have a set of twins. Now, here we are talking about meditative fragrances. Can you guess what are the most meditative fragrances I could possibly have in my collection? And there's two. They are Derviche and Derviche 2 by Rogue Perfumeries. Had to be, right? What could be more meditative than Sama spinning meditations performed by the Derviche? Okay, so these are 30 ml eau de toilettes. They go for about $85 a piece. I think they are both 2018 releases, but they may not be. I know the first one is a 2018 release. The first Derviche is amber, leather, and tobacco. The second Derviche is, let's see. Right. This one is a 2021 release. So sorry about that. This one is citrus, herbs, incense, woods, fruits, amber, tobacco, musk, and vanilla. This one is brighter than the original. The original is more somber, more leather. And I feel like that leather quality, even though there's musk in this one, is missing, therefore making it a little bit brighter. These are both heavenly. They could easily put me into the type of trance that makes me divest from the flesh and seek to bond closer with God. I absolutely get it. The meditative trance achieved is, I see where he's going. I see where Manuel Cross, the perfumer, was going with these. These have an uplifting quality. You know, it's drama in motion. It's, you know, the sensation of rocking. You know, sometimes when I'm stressed and I have to stand up for a long period of time, I'll go back and forth from one leg to the other, or I'll, you know, just do this. And I feel like it's a similar experience. And you get lost in the feeling of swaying, and you kind of lose track of what's going on around you. And it's a way of self-soothing, that motion. And that's the meditative piece. And I feel as if the sensation, the safety, the security that comes across from the leather in Derviche 1 and the incense and dark woods in Derviche 2, I get it. I get it's that sense of you know, meditation in motion that he was going for. And you absolutely feel it in these fragrances. And so that's it for tonight's Fragrance Moods meditation episode. What do you think? Did I hit the mark? What about those last two, huh? Let me know in the comments. Hey, if you're not yet a subscriber to the channel, please consider subscribing if you love indie and niche fragrances and luxury designer brands. We talk about those too. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.